family and friends. Multi-ROM 3. Unit 1.
They're from Australia.
Listening 6. Listen and point.
Egypt, the UK, Russia, Spain, Thailand, Australia, the USA, Brazil, Brazil, Egypt, Thailand, the USA, Russia, the UK, Spain, Australia.
Listen and repeat.
Egypt, the UK, Russia, Spain, Thailand, Australia, the USA, Brazil.
Listening 7. Listen and read.
Where are our cousins?
I don't know.
Here's a photo. That's Amy and that's Leo.
Look, there they are. Hello.
They aren't Amy and Leo. They're from Russia. Amy and Leo are from Australia.
Are they Amy and Leo?
No, they aren't. They're from the USA.
Hi. Are you Max and Holly?
I'm Leo, and this is Amy. We're your cousins.
Really?
Yes, that's an old photo.
Listening 8. Listen and sing. Where are you from?
Where are you from? I'm from the UK. Hello, hello, how are you today? This is my friend, he's from the USA. Hello, hello, how are you today? I'm from Brazil, it's nice to meet you. Hello, hello, nice to meet you too.
Listening 9. Listen and point.
Crayon, draw, spoon, snake, drink, play,
Listen and repeat.
Crayon. Draw. Spoon. Snake. Drink. Play.
Listening 10. Listen and chant.
We drink from a cup. We eat with a spoon. We draw with a crayon. We play all afternoon.
Listening 11. Listen and check. Number 1.
Drink.
Number 2.
Cloud.
Number 3.
Spoon.
Number 4.
Play.
Number 5.
Frog.
Number 6.
Draw.
Number 7.
Crab.
Number 8.
Plum.
Listening 12. Listen and point.
Spring. Summer. Autumn. Winter. Garden. Season. Winter. Season. Summer. Garden. Autumn. Spring.
Listen and repeat.
Spring. Summer. Autumn. Winter. Garden. Season.
Listening 13. Listen and read.
The lazy bear. It's spring in the forest. It's warm and sunny, and all the animals are awake. But Bruno the bear is still asleep. Bruno is very lazy. Now it's summer. It's hot and there are lots of flowers. The animals are happy because they love summer. But where's Bruno? Bruno is still asleep. What a lazy bear! In the autumn, the leaves are red, yellow and orange. The animals are sleepy. They're ready for winter. But where's Bruno? Bruno is still asleep. He doesn't know that it's autumn. Now it's winter, and the animals are all asleep in their warm homes. But where's Bruno? Bruno is awake. He's in his garden. What a nice long sleep, he says. Oh no, it's winter. I'm all alone. Bruno isn't happy. He goes back to bed. Now it's spring again. The animals play in the forest. They're very happy. The world is warm and sunny again. But where's Bruno? Bruno! The animals shout. Bruno is awake again. He's happy now. He's hungry too. He wants his breakfast.
Listening 14. Listen and tick. Number 1.
Hello, what's your name?
My name's Katie.
How old are you, Katie?
I'm 8.
Number 2.
When's your birthday?
It's in spring.
Which month?
My birthday is in March.
Number 3.
Are you from the UK, Katie?
No, I'm not.
Where are you from?
I'm from the USA, but my mom and dad are from Spain.
Number 4.
What's your favourite season?
Well, I don't like winter. It's cold in winter. My favorite season is summer. It's hot in summer.
Family and friends. Multi-ROM 3. Unit 2. The weekend. Listening 15. Listen and point.
Read comics. Skateboard. Do gymnastics. Play chess. Fish. Play basketball. Take photos. Play volleyball. Do gymnastics. Play volleyball. Read comics. Play basketball. Skateboard. Fish. Take photos. Play chess.
Listen and repeat.
Read comics. Skateboard. Do gymnastics. Play chess. Fish. Play basketball. Take photos. Play volleyball.
Listening 16. Listen and read.
I've got lots of fish. Come on, Max.
I don't like fishing. I like reading.
Fishing is easy. You can read your book too.
OK. I've got a fish!
Wow! It's a big fish.
Help! Take a photo, Amy.
That's a great fish, Max. We can have it for lunch.
It's time to go home, Max.
Let's stay. I like fishing.
Listening 17. Listen and sing. I'm happy it's the weekend.
Dad likes playing basketball and he likes playing chess. Mum likes playing tennis, but I like fishing best.
I'm happy it's the weekend. Hip, 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 hooray. My family loves the weekend. We have fun all day.
Mum likes drawing pictures and I like drawing too. Dad likes taking photos, so we've got lots to do.
I'm happy it's the weekend. Hip, 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 hooray. My family loves the weekend. We have fun all day.
Listening 18. Listen and point.
Magic E makes the vowel long. A. Face. Space. I. Kite. Bike. O. Rope. Stone. U. June. Cube.
Listen and repeat.
A. Face. Space. I. Kite. Bike. O. Rope. Stone. U. June. Cube.
Listening 19. Listen and chant.
Let's play together. Me and you. I've got a kite and a skipping rope too. I've got a cube and a doll from space. Look, it's got a purple face.
Listening 20. Listen and check. Number 1.
I. Kite.
Number 2.
A. Face.
Number 3.
O. Stone.
Number 4.
A. Space.
Number 5.
I. Bike.
Number 6.
O. Rope.
Listening 21. Listen and point.
Play the guitar. Shop. Cook. Paint. Play the piano. Visit family. Paint. Visit family. Play the guitar. Cook. Shop. Play the piano.
Listen and repeat.
Play the guitar. Shop. Cook. Paint. Play the piano. Visit family.
Listening 22. Listen and read.
What hobbies are popular in your country?
Hi, my name's Kelly and I'm from the UK. My friends have got lots of hobbies. They like playing computer games and watching DVDs. My best friend Janet and I like doing sports too. Janet loves playing volleyball, but she doesn't like playing basketball. I love reading comics too.
Hi, I'm Nuria and I'm from Spain. My friends like playing computer games and doing sports too. I don't like sports, but I love music. I like playing the guitar and the piano. My friend Sandra and I like traditional Spanish dancing too. We have dance lessons every Monday.
I'm Ishmael and I'm from Egypt. My friends like watching TV and listening to music. I like watching football on TV and listening to pop music. My sisters love painting pictures and they like shopping with my mum.
Listening 23. Listen and match. What do they like? Number 1.
Look at this. It's a pen friend website.
Oh, great! I want a pen friend.
Look at number 1. This is Ivan. He's from Russia. He likes playing football.
I don't like playing football.
Oh, okay.
Number 2.
Who is that girl? Number 2.
Her name is May. She's from Thailand.
What does she like doing?
She likes cooking.
Oh, I don't like cooking.
Number 3.
Number 3 is a boy. His name is Bruno. He's from Brazil.
What does he like doing?
He likes fishing.
I like fishing too. Good. He can be my pen friend.
Number 4.
I want a pen friend too.
Well, look at this girl. Number 4. Her name's Tina. She's from Australia.
What does she like doing?
She likes playing chess. Do you like playing chess?
Yes, I do. Tina can be my pen friend.
Great!
Family and friends. Multi-ROM 3. Unit 3. The things that... Listening 24. Listen and point.
computer, TV, DVD player, CD player, MP3 player, camera, turn on, turn off, MP3 player, TV, camera, CD player, turn on, DVD player, turn off, computer,
Listen and repeat.
computer, TV, DVD player, CD player, MP3 player, camera, turn on, turn off.
Listening 25. Listen and read.
Amy, can you turn on the TV, please?
Max, watch this.
No, I like my book.
Your book is boring.
No, it isn't.
Can I use your computer, Leo?
Yes, you can. Have you got a school project?
Yes, it's about space. Leo, I think it's broken.
My book is about space, Holly. You can read it.
Well, okay.
Can I have my book, please?
No, it's great.
Listening 26. Listen and sing. It's rainy today.
It's rainy today. Can we watch a DVD? It's rainy today. Can we play our new CD? It's a rainy day. Can we watch TV? Can you watch a show with me? It's a rainy day. It's sunny today. Can we play out in the sun? It's sunny today. We can have a lot of fun. Can we run and can we play? Can you play with me all day? It's a sunny day.
Listening 27. Listen and point.
R, car, park, shark, star, scarf,
Listen and repeat.
R, car, park, shark, star, scarf.
Listening 28. Listen and chant.
We're in the car after playing in the park. I've got an orange scarf. I've got a toy shark.
Listening 29. Listen and point.
Stickers, posters, comics, postcards, badges, shells, posters, badges, shells, comics, stickers, postcards.
Listen and repeat.
Stickers, posters, comics, postcards, badges, shells.
Listening 30. Listen and read.
The children in Class 3B like collecting things. Look at their collections.
I love football, and I've got a collection of football stickers. I've got 60 stickers, and they're in a special sticker book. My friends have got sticker collections too. I give my friends some of my stickers, and they give me some of their stickers.
I've got a great collection of badges. I've got 50 badges. They are on a scarf on my bedroom wall. I wear the badges on my jackets, bags, and hats. They're really cool.
My brother and I have got a collection of comics. We've got 100 comics. We like reading comics because they're very funny. Our comics are in our bedroom. Our dad buys us 2 new comics every Saturday.
Listening 31. Listen and match. What do they collect? Number 1.
The children in our class have got lots of collections.
I know. Look, John has got a shell collection.
How many shells has he got?
He's got 100 shells.
Wow!
Number 2.
Has Lisa got a collection?
Yes, she has. She's got a postcard collection.
How many postcards has she got?
She's got 50 postcards.
Number 3.
Have Tom and Emma got a collection?
Yes, they have. They've got a sticker collection. Look.
Wow! They've got 80 stickers.
That's a great collection.
Number 4.
Has Jenny got a collection?
Yes, she has. She's got a poster collection.
How many posters has she got?
She's got 20 posters.
Listening 32. Listen read and say. Anna and her cousin Tom are in the garden. Number 1.
I love playing football.
I don't. I prefer playing tennis.
Oh, I don't like tennis.
Number 2.
I don't like skateboarding.
Neither do I. I like playing volleyball.
Great! So do I.
Listening 33. Listen and tick the things they like and cross the things they don't like. Number 1.
Can we go home now, Mum? I don't like shopping.
Neither do I. These bags are heavy.
OK, let's go home. We're all tired.
Number 2.
It's time for my favourite show. I love watching TV.
So do I. This is a cool show.
Number 3.
Come on, Anna. It's time for our art lesson.
Great! I like painting. It's fun.
I don't. Painting is boring. I prefer taking photos.
Number 4.
I've got PE today. I love doing gymnastics.
So do I. It's my favourite sport.
Listening 34. Listen and read.
Swiss Family Robinson. The Swiss Family Robinson is a novel by Johann David Wyss. It's a very exciting story. The main characters are a mother and father and their 4 sons, Fritz, Ernest, Jack and Franz. The family decides to travel to a new country to live. They travel on a ship with lots of other people, but there is a big storm. The ship sinks, but the family swims to an island. There aren't any other people on the island, so the family is alone. They take things from the ship, such as clothes and tools, to help them start a new life. The family has lots of adventures on the island, and they learn a lot of important lessons. They find out that the island has everything they need to survive. First, they use wood from the trees to build a house in a tree. When the weather is cold and wet, they move to a cave and make a home there. They grow vegetables and fruit from seeds, and they hunt animals for their meat. They use salt to keep their meat fresh for a long time, so they are never hungry. They cook food on a fire, and they use plants to make paper and clothes. They learn a lot about nature, and they enjoy their life on the island. One day, they have the chance to leave the island and go home to Switzerland. But they decide that the island is their home now. They are happy with their new life, and they don't want to leave.
Listening 35. Listen and read.
My name is Tanya, and I'm from Ukraine. I live with my parents, my 2 brothers, and my grandparents. We live on a farm in the country. My mum, dad, and grandpa work on the farm every day. My grandma looks after the house. I get up early every day. I usually eat bread or pastries for breakfast. Then I walk to school with my brothers. We have lessons from 8 o'clock
until 3 o'clock. We always go home for lunch. My grandma usually makes soup and a dish with meat and potatoes. After lunch, I do my homework and I help my grandma. We cook dinner for the family. I love cooking. I go to bed at 9 o'clock, but I usually read a book before I go to sleep.
I'm Hassan, and I live in Cairo, Egypt. I live in an apartment with my parents and my sister. My grandparents and my aunt, uncle, and cousins also live in apartments in the same building. I see them every day. My mum wakes me up every morning. I have breakfast with my family. I usually eat bread with cheese or an egg, and I drink some juice. Then I catch the bus to school. I play with my friends before lessons start. We finish school at lunchtime. After school, I go home and I have lunch with my family. Then I watch TV for an hour. I do my homework and I sometimes help my dad with the shopping. My sister helps my mum to clean the house and wash the clothes. In the evening, I have dinner with my family. Then I play computer games. I go to bed at 10 o'clock. I'm always tired after my busy day.
Family and Friends, Multi-ROM 3. Unit 4.
We're having fun at the beach.
Listening 36. Listen and point.
Swim. Sail. Dive. Surf. Kayak. Windsurf. Snorkel. Water ski. Windsurf. Kayak. Surf. Snorkel. Sail. Water ski. Dive. Swim.
Listen and repeat.
Swim. Sail. Dive. Surf. Kayak. Windsurf. Snorkel. Water ski.
Listening 37. Listen and read.
Hello, Mum. We're having fun at the beach.
That's good. Is Max in the sea?
No, he isn't. He's reading his book.
Is Holly in the sea?
No, she isn't. She's playing with her ball. Leo is in the sea.
Oh, yes. Leo likes snorkeling.
He isn't snorkeling. He's surfing. He's very good.
Look! Leo is standing on his hands.
Wow!
Oh no! Leo is falling.
Leo isn't surfing now. He's swimming.
Listening 38. Listen and sing. At the beach.
We're playing at the beach today, we're having lots of fun. We're swimming and we're surfing and we're sitting in the sun. We all like playing at the beach, it's sunny here today. We can windsurf at the beach and we can swim and play. We're sailing in our little boat, we're playing in the sea. We're snorkeling and diving, there are lots of fish to see. We all like playing at the beach, it's sunny here today. We can windsurf at the beach and we can swim and play.
Listening 39. Listen and point.
All. Ball. Mall. Wall. Tall. Small.
Listen and repeat.
All. Ball. Mall. Wall. Tall. Small.
Listening 40. Listen and chant.
I'm in a mall. A mall. Some people are tall, some are small. I'm going to buy a ball. I don't know which to buy, I like them all.
Listening 41. Listen and point.
Polluted. Clean. Dangerous. Safe. Beautiful. Ugly. Safe. Clean. Beautiful. Dangerous. Ugly. Polluted.
Listen and repeat.
Polluted. Clean. Dangerous. Safe. Beautiful. ugly.
Listening 42. Listen and read.
Are you looking for the perfect holiday? Dolphin Dreams is the perfect holiday. We take people in our boats and we visit dolphins in the sea. You can swim with beautiful dolphins.
Do you know? Dolphins aren't dangerous. They are very friendly. They love playing with people. Dolphins can't breathe underwater, but they can stay underwater for about 15 minutes. Dolphins live in families. Dolphins have names. Their names are special sounds. They use the sounds to call their friends and family. Dolphins can't live in polluted water, but a lot of the sea is polluted. We want to make the sea a clean and safe place for dolphins.
Book your holiday today.
Listening 43. Listen and write the numbers. Number 1.
Do you like going to the beach, Jack?
Yes, I do. The beach is beautiful.
What do you like doing at the beach?
I like snorkeling. It's great.
Number 2.
What do you like doing at the beach, Emma?
I like water skiing.
Oh, is it dangerous?
No, it isn't. It's very safe.
Number 3.
What do you like doing at the beach, Tony?
I like kayaking.
Oh, is it difficult?
Yes, but it's fun.
Number 4.
What do you like doing at the beach, Katie?
I like surfing. It's fun.
That's nice.
Number 5.
What do you like doing at the beach, Billy?
I like swimming.
Do you? I like swimming too.
Family and Friends, Multi-ROM 3. Unit 5.
A. NaDi. Monkey.
Listening 44. Listen and point.
Penguin. Zebra. Monkey. Kangaroo. Camel. Lizard. Flamingo. Crocodile. Flamingo. Penguin. Kangaroo. Zebra. Camel. Monkey. Crocodile. Lizard.
Listen and repeat.
Penguin. Zebra. Monkey. kangaroo, camel, lizard, flamingo, crocodile.
Listening 45. Listen and read.
I love the zoo. I like the penguins.
Max, I can't see. Are you watching the monkeys?
Yes, I am. They're funny.
Max!
Wait, I'm watching this funny monkey.
Look, the monkey is taking your sandwich.
That's my sandwich.
I can't see. Is the monkey eating the sandwich?
No, it isn't. It's taking my book.
And my bag.
Come here, Holly.
Look, the monkey is giving our things to Holly.
It likes you.
Listening 46. Listen and sing. Are the monkeys climbing?
Are the monkeys climbing? Yes, they are. Are the zebras running? Yes, they are. Are the tigers walking? Are the parrots talking? Are the monkeys climbing? Yes, they are. Are the penguins swimming? Yes, they are. Are the parrots flying? Yes, they are. Are the lizards eating? Are the lions sleeping? Are the penguins swimming? Yes, they are.
Listening 47. Listen and point.
Fork, horse, corn, straw, paw, yawn,
Listen and repeat.
fork, horse, corn, straw, paw, yawn.
Listening 48. Listen and chant.
Look at the dog. It's drinking with a straw. It's holding the straw with its two front paws. Look at the horse. It's holding a fork. It's eating corn with the farmer's fork.
Listening 49. Listen and point.
Angry, scared, free, sorry, funny, kind, sorry, free, funny, angry, kind, scared,
Listen and repeat.
angry, scared, free, sorry, funny, kind.
Listening 50. Listen and read.
One day, a lion is sleeping. A mouse runs over the lion's nose, and the lion wakes up. The lion is angry. The mouse is scared. "I'm very sorry," says the mouse. "Don't eat me. I can help you one day." The lion laughs. "That's funny," it says. "You are little. How can you help me?" But the lion is not angry now. The mouse runs away. 1 year later, the lion is walking in the jungle. A big net falls over the lion. The lion opens its mouth and roars. The mouse hears the lion and it runs to help. "Don't move," says the mouse. "I can help you." The mouse chews the net and makes a big hole. The lion is free. "Thank you," says the lion. "You are little, but you are kind."
Listening 51. Listen and write the numbers. Number 1.
Look at the tiger. It's eating. Look at the monkey. It's climbing.
Number 2.
The tiger is sleeping now. The monkey is eating a banana.
Number 3.
Look at the banana. It's falling. Oh no! The tiger isn't sleeping now.
Number 4.
The tiger is angry. It's watching the monkey. It wants to eat the monkey. The monkey is scared. It's running.
Family and Friends. Multi-ROM 3. Unit 6.
Jim's Day.
Listening 52. Listen and point.
Have a shower. Brush my teeth. Get dressed. Have breakfast. Brush my hair. Get up. Catch the bus. Walk to school. Brush my hair. Catch the bus. Get up. Get dressed. Have a shower. Have breakfast. Brush my teeth. Walk to school.
Listen and repeat.
Have a shower. Brush my teeth. Get dressed. Have breakfast. Brush my hair. Get up. Catch the bus. Walk to school.
Listening 53. Listen and read.
I've got an email from Jim. Jim is our cousin in Australia. He's a jackaroo.
What's a jackaroo?
Jackaroos work on sheep farms.
It's a great job. He gets up early every morning. He rides a horse and he looks after the sheep.
It's dangerous. There are lots of snakes in Australia. Does Jim see a lot of snakes?
Yes, he does. Look.
Jim is lucky. I want to be a jackaroo.
I don't. I want a safe job.
Listening 54. Listen and sing My Day.
I get up early every day. I have a shower every day. I have my breakfast every day. I'm busy all day long. I catch the school bus every day. I have my lessons every day. I see my school friends every day. I'm busy all day long. I do my homework every day. Then I go outside and play. I'm very busy every day. I'm busy all day long.
Listening 55. Listen and point.
Boy. Toy. Oyster. Coin. Oil. Soil.
Listen and repeat.
Boy. Toy. Oyster. Coin. Oil. Soil.
Listening 56. Listen and chant.
Roy is a boy. A boy, boy, boy. Playing with a toy. A toy, toy, toy. He can see a coin. A coin, coin, coin.
Listening 57. Listen and point.
First. then, next, finally, every day, at the weekend, finally, next, at the weekend, first, every day, then,
Listen and repeat.
first, then, next, finally, every day, at the weekend,
Listening 58. Listen and read.
Australia is a very big country. A lot of families live on farms. The farms are a long way from towns or cities, so the children don't go to school. They have lessons at home and they talk to their teachers on the internet. They are students of the cyber school.
I live on a farm. There isn't a town for 500 kilometres. That's 6 hours in the car. So I do cyber school. I get up early every day. First, I help on the farm. Then I watch my teachers on the internet. Next, I do my schoolwork. Finally, I email my work to my teacher. Some of my school friends live 2,000 kilometres away, but we meet every year and have a sports day together.
Listening 59. Listen and write the numbers. Number 1.
Do you get up early every day, Ellie?
Yes, I do. I live on a farm and there's lots of work to do.
What time do you get up?
I get up at 6 o'clock.
Number 2.
Do you have breakfast with your family every morning?
Yes, I do. We have breakfast before we start work.
Number 3.
After breakfast, I help my mum and dad on the farm.
What do you do on the farm?
I feed the chickens.
Number 4.
Do you go to school, Ellie?
No, I don't. My house is a long way from the town, so I have my lessons at home. I use the internet to talk to my teachers.
Wow!
Number 5.
Do you go to bed early?
Yes, I do. My days are very busy, so I get very tired.
What time do you go to bed?
I go to bed at 8 o'clock.
Listening 60. Listen, read and say. Number 1.
Oh no! I'm very bad at basketball. I'm terrible at throwing.
Oh. Sam's good at basketball. Watch him.
Number 2.
OK, it's my turn now. Watch this, Anna.
Look at Sam! He He's very good at jumping.
I know. He's quite good at running too.
Listening 61. Listen and circle. Number 1.
Anna, where's your brother, Mike?
Mike's in the sea. He's windsurfing.
Is he good at windsurfing?
No, he isn't. He's very bad at windsurfing. Look!
Number 2.
Is Mike good at art?
Yes, he is. Art is his favourite subject. He's very good at painting pictures.
That's cool.
Number 3.
What about music? Is Mike good at music?
Not really. He can sing, but he's terrible at playing the guitar. Listen.
Oh dear.
Number 4.
Is Mike good at sport?
Well, he isn't very good at football, but he's very good at basketball.
That's great. I'm quite good at basketball too.
Listening 62. Listen and read.
White Fang. The wolf pups are hungry, but their mother can't find enough food. Soon there is only one pup left. He drinks his mother's milk and slowly grows stronger. He is fierce, but he is playful too. When his mother leaves the cave to look for food, he explores the cave, but he is afraid to go outside. However, as he grows older, he wants to find out what the world is like outside the cave. He learns to hide in the long grass or in the bushes. He learns to hunt, and he catches small animals to eat. Other animals try to attack him, but he learns to fight. His mother is proud of him. She can see that he is becoming a great wolf. One day, while the young wolf is exploring, he comes to a village. He sees a group of men, and he is afraid. One of the men tries to pick him up. The pup growls and shows his sharp white teeth. The men laugh. "Look at those teeth," they say. "Let's call him White Fang." Another man tries to pick White Fang up, but White Fang bites the man's hand. The man hits White Fang, and White Fang cries. His mother hears him and comes to find him. When she sees the men, she lies down on the ground. She respects humans. A man decides to keep White Fang and his mother. At first, White Fang wants to escape. But the man feeds White Fang and gives him a dry place to sleep. When other dogs try to attack White Fang, the man chases them away. Men can protect me and care for me, White Fang thinks. It is difficult to be a wolf, but it is easy to be a dog.
Listening 63. Listen and read.
Tiger Territory. At San Diego Zoo Safari Park, you can see lots of amazing animals in beautiful natural surroundings. The Tiger Trail is a popular attraction for visitors who want to see Sumatran tigers. You can look through huge glass windows and watch the Sumatran tigers playing and enjoying their habitat. The safari park has lots of trees and plants for the tigers to hide in, and it has lots of things for the tigers to do, Tigers are beautiful, powerful animals. They can run fast, so they need lots of space. The tiger trail habitat is huge, so the tigers have lots of space to run. Tigers are very good at climbing trees too. They like lying on branches because they can see a lot from the branches of tall trees. At the tiger trail, there are lots of rocks and tall trees for the tigers to climb. You can look up through the glass and see a huge tiger looking down at you. Tigers are members of the cat family. Cats usually hate water, but tigers love it. They are very good swimmers. At the tiger trail, there are pools for the tigers to play in. You can watch them playing and swimming in the water. When they are tired, they can relax in the long grass or in special dens. Sumatran tigers are an endangered species. There are only about 400 Sumatran tigers left in the world. They live in forests in Sumatra, Indonesia. People are destroying the forests because they want the land for farming. As a result, many Sumatran tigers don't have a place to live. San Diego Zoo wants to protect Sumatran tigers in the safari park and in the wild. They want people to learn about tigers and try to help them.
Family and Friends, Multi-ROM 3. Unit 7. Listening 64. Listen and point.
Cafe. Library. Museum. Playground. Shopping mall. Sports centre. Swimming pool. Cinema. Shopping mall. Playground. Sports centre. Library. Cafe. Swimming pool. Museum. Cinema.
Listen and repeat.
Cafe. Library. Museum. Playground. Shopping mall. Sports centre. Swimming pool. Cinema.
Listening 65. Listen and read.
What do you want to do at the weekend?
Can we go to the shopping mall?
Oh no! Can
Can we go to the sports centre?
But we always go to the sports centre. Can we go to the museum?
I don't like museums.
We never want to do the same thing.
Surprise! I've got tickets for the new film at the cinema at the weekend.
Great! Wow! Thanks, Dad!
So now you want to do the same thing.
Listening 66. Listen and sing. Come and play with me.
I sometimes play computer games, I always ride my bike. I sometimes watch a DVD, I sometimes fly my kite. I sometimes snorkel in the sea, I sometimes read a book. I always play my new guitar, I never shop or cook. I sometimes surf the internet, I sometimes watch TV. I always have a lot of fun, so come and play with me.
Listening 67. Listen and point.
Cow, clown, flower, house, trousers, mouse,
Listen and repeat.
cow, clown, flower, house, trousers, mouse.
Listening 68. Listen and chant.
The clown's got flowers, red and blue. He's wearing brown trousers, but only one shoe. He's sitting in his house. He looks behind a wall. He's scared of a mouse, but it's only small.
Listening 69. Listen and point.
Play, theatre, concert, actor, film, singer, actor, singer, film, theatre, concert, play,
Listen and repeat.
play, theatre, concert, actor, film, singer,
Listening 70. Listen and read.
Monsters University.
Monsters University is a comedy film by Pixar, and now you can watch it on DVD. The characters in Monsters University are funny monsters. They're 3D computer animations, but real actors play their voices. In the film, Mike is a 6-year-old monster. He lives in the monster world. One day, he visits a company called Monsters, Inc. Lots of monsters work there. The monsters visit the human world at night. They scare children, and they use the children's screams to make energy. Mike wants to be a scary monster when he grows up. When Mike is a teenager, he goes to Monsters University to learn how to be scary. He meets Sally, but they are not friends at first. Sally is very good at scaring people, but Mike is not very scary at all. One day, Mike and Sully go to the human world and they can't get back. They work together and finally go home to the monster world. Now Mike and Sully are friends. They get jobs at Monsters, Inc. and they have fun working together. Monsters University is very funny, and the actors' voices are brilliant. There's lots of cool music in the film too. I loved the song Monsters University. The monsters are terrible singers, but the song is great. Monsters University is lots of fun. Don't miss it. Carl, age 9.
Listening 71. Listen and tick or cross. Number 1.
Do you like going to the cinema?
Yes, I do.
Do you ever go to the cinema?
Yes, I sometimes go to the cinema with my dad.
Number 2.
Do you ever go to concerts?
No, I don't. I never go to concerts, but I like music.
Number 3.
Do you like sports?
Yes, I do. I like football and basketball.
Do you ever go to the sports centre?
Yes, I do. I go to the sports centre every Saturday.
Number 4.
Do you like reading?
No, I don't.
Do you ever go to the library?
No, I don't. I never go to the library.
Number 5.
Do you ever go to the shopping mall?
Yes, I do. I sometimes go to the shopping mall with my mum. It's boring.
Family and Friends, Multi-ROM 3. Unit 8.
I'd like a melon.
Listening 72. Listen and point.
Pasta. Bread. Cereal. Meat. Melon. Cucumber. Onion. Lemon. Lemon. Bread. Melon. Cereal. cucumber, meat, onion, pasta,
Listen and repeat.
pasta, bread, cereal, meat, melon, cucumber, onion, lemon,
Listening 73. Listen and read.
Wow! This is a big supermarket.
I like shopping at the supermarket. Mum and I come here every week.
We need a lot of things today. Can you help me, please?
Sure.
We need some pasta and some bread.
The bread is over there.
Can you get me some onions and a cucumber, please?
OK.
Oh, there are melons too. I'd like a melon.
No, Amy! Don't take that melon. Take one from the top.
Oh no! Sorry.
Listening 74. Listen and sing. At the supermarket.
I would like some lemons, I would like some meat.
I would like a melon, they're very fresh and sweet.
At the supermarket we buy things to eat. Apples, bread and biscuits, pasta, rice and meat. I would like some onions, I would like some rice.
I would like some apples, they're healthy and they're nice.
At the supermarket we buy things to eat. Apples, bread and biscuits, pasta, rice and meat.
Listening 75. Listen and point.
old, child, shield, field, alt, belt, quilt, adult,
Listen and repeat.
old, child, shield, field, alt, belt, quilt, adult.
Listening 76. Listen and chant.
A child and an adult are standing in a field. The adult's got a quilt. The child's got a shield. The quilt is red. The shield is grey. The adult sits down, but the child wants to play.
Listening 77. Listen and point.
Potato, butter, cheese, salt, pepper, peas, salt, cheese, peas, butter, pepper, potato,
Listen and repeat.
potato, butter, cheese, salt, pepper, peas,
Listening 78. Listen and read.
Today I want to tell you how to make my favourite dish. You need 2 big potatoes and you need a piece of fish. You need some milk and butter and you need a lot of cheese. You need some salt and pepper and you need some nice fresh peas. You cook the 2 potatoes and you mash them in a pot. You cook the peas in water and you make them nice and hot. You cook the fish in milk now and you put it in a dish. You take the peas and butter and you mix them with the fish. You add the mashed potatoes and you put the cheese on top. You cook it in the oven. When it's brown on top, you stop.
Listening 79. Listen and write A or B. Number 1.
Hello, can I help you?
Yes, please. I'd like some potatoes.
OK. Here you are.
Thank you.
Number 2. Hello, can I help you?
Yes, please. I'd like some meat.
Is this meat okay?
Yes, that's fine. Thank you.
Number 3.
Hello, what would you like?
I'd like a melon, please.
Would you like this one?
Yes, please. It looks very nice.
Number 4. Hello, what would you like?
I'd like some onions, please.
OK, here you are.
Thank you.
Number 5.
Hello, can I help you?
Oh, yes. I'd like a lemon, please.
OK. Here you are.
Thank you.
Number 6. What would you like?
I'd like some bread, please.
This bread is very nice. Would you like it?
Yes. Thank you very much.
Family and Friends, Multi-ROM 3. Unit 9.
The fastest animal in the world.
Listening 80. Listen and point.
Lake, mountain, waterfall, ocean, wide, big, deep, high, ocean, deep, mountain, high, lake, wide, waterfall, big,
Listen and repeat.
lake, mountain, waterfall, ocean, wide, big, deep, high,
Listening 81. Listen and read.
Hello! I've got a quiz for you today.
Great!
What's the highest mountain in the world?
Mount Everest!
That's right. What's the biggest ocean in the world?
It's the Pacific Ocean.
That's right. What's the fastest animal in the world?
A mouse!
No, a mouse isn't the fastest animal. The fastest animal in the world is a cheetah.
No, a mouse! Look!
Ha ha ha! Now Amy is the fastest student in the class.
Listening 82. Listen and sing. My quiz.
What's the biggest country, do you know, do you know? What's the highest mountain, do you know? Listen to my quiz, and tell me what the answer is. Do you know, do you know, do you know what the answer is? Listen to my quiz, and tell me what the answer is. What's the biggest ocean, do you know, do you know? What's the smallest country, do you know? Listen to my quiz, and tell me what the answer is. Do you know, do you know, do you know what the answer is? Listen to my quiz, and tell me what the answer is.
Listening 83. Listen and point.
Sand, pond, plant, tent, lamp, camp,
Listen and repeat.
Sand. Pond. Plant. Tent. Lamp. Camp.
Listening 84. Listen and chant.
We put up the tent at the big camp. We hear the wind. We light the lamp. We sit by the pond. We look at the plants. We're happy together, just me and my aunt.
Listening 85. Listen and point.
Building. Country. Bridge. River. Old. Long. River. Long. Bridge. Old. Country. Building.
Listen and repeat.
Building. Country. Bridge. River. Old. Long.
Listening 86. Listen and read.
Here are some of the world's records. There are many interesting facts.
The Gigantia temples are in Malta. The temples are over 5,500 years old. They are the oldest temples in Europe. The longest bridges over water are the two bridges over Lake Pontchartrain in the USA. The bridges are nearly 24 miles long. You can't see land from the middle of the bridges. Russia is the biggest country in the world. It is 17,075,400 square kilometres. That is 12.5% of the Earth's surface. In Russia, there are 11 different time zones. Russia is between Europe and Asia. The longest river in the world is the Nile. The Nile is 6,650 kilometres long. The Nile flows through 9 countries in Africa. The last country is Egypt. From Egypt, it flows into the Mediterranean Sea.
Listening 87. Listen and complete the table. Number 1.
What's the biggest lake in Egypt?
Is it Lake Nasser?
Yes, it is. What's the longest river in Egypt?
The Nile.
Yes. What's the highest mountain in Egypt?
Mount Catherine.
That's right.
Number 2.
What's the biggest lake in Spain?
Is it Lake Sanabria?
Yes, it is. What's the longest river in Spain?
The Tagus.
That's right. What's the highest mountain in Spain?
It's Mount Tide.
Yes.
Number 3.
What's the biggest lake in Brazil?
Is it Lake Patos?
Yes, it is. What's the longest river in Brazil?
The Amazon.
That's right. What's the highest mountain in Brazil?
Is it Fog Peak?
Yes, it is.
Number 4.
What's the biggest lake in the UK?
It's Loch Ness.
That's right. What's the longest river in the UK?
Oh, I don't know that.
The longest river in the UK is the Severn. What's the highest mountain in the UK?
Is it Ben Nevis?
Yes, it is. Very good.
Listening 88. Listen, read and say. Number 1.
Excuse me, where's the cinema?
It's next to the museum.
Can you tell me the way to the museum, please?
Sure. Turn left at the post office.
Number 2.
OK. Where's the post office?
Turn right, then go straight on. You can't miss it.
Great. Thanks.
Listening 89. Listen and complete the sentences. Number 1.
Excuse me. Can you help me, please?
Yes, of course.
Where's the library?
Number 2.
The library? It's next to the playground.
Can you tell me the way to the playground, please?
Sure. Turn left at the museum.
Number 3.
OK. Where's the museum?
It's over there. It's next to the cafe.
Oh, yes. I can see it now.
Number 4.
So, turn right at the museum, go straight on, then turn left. The playground is on the right. You can't miss it.
Great. Thanks very much.
No problem.
Listening 90. Listen and read.
Stone soup. Some travellers arrived in a small village one day. They were tired and hungry, but they didn't have any food. They only had a large pot. The travellers asked the villagers for some food, but the villagers didn't trust the travellers, and they didn't want to share their food. The travellers were disappointed, but they had a plan. They filled their pot with water, dropped a large stone into it, and put the pot on a fire in the village square. Then the travellers sat down around the fire and waited. Soon a woman came to the square. "What are you doing?" she asked. "We're making stone soup," said the travellers. "It's very tasty, but we really need some herbs to put in it." "I've got some herbs," said the woman. "Can you give us some of your herbs?" the travellers asked. "Then we will share our soup with you." The woman took a small bunch of fresh herbs from her basket and dropped it into the pot. She sat with the travellers and they talked while they waited for the soup to cook. After a while, a man came to the square. "What are you doing?" he asked. "We're making stone soup," said the travellers. "It's delicious, but we really need some meat to put in it." "I've got some meat," said the man. Can you give us some of your meat? The travellers asked. Then we will share our soup with you. The man put some meat into the pot. Then he sat with the travellers and the woman, and they all talked while they waited for the soup to cook. More villagers came to the square. They all added food to the pot. Soon they were good friends. The pot was full of meat, potatoes, and vegetables, and it smelt wonderful. The travellers and the villagers shared the soup, and they all enjoyed a wonderful meal.
Listening 91. Listen and read.
My favourite dish.
I'm Mehmet, and I'm from Turkey. Turkish food is delicious, and it's healthy too. We eat a lot of fresh vegetables, like peppers, onions, and aubergines. We also eat a lot of meat, lentils, beans, yogurt, and nuts. In the summer, the weather is very hot, so we often eat light meals with lots of vegetables and fruit. My favourite dish is kebab. It's a traditional Turkish dish, and it's traditional in lots of other countries too. You can have doner kebabs or shish kebabs. A doner kebab is meat cooked in a large block. You cut small pieces of meat from the block and put it in a piece of flat bread called a pita. A shish kebab is pieces of meat cooked on a stick. I usually put some tomatoes, onions, cucumber and yogurt in the pita with my meat. Kebabs are very tasty.
My name's Arisa. I'm from Thailand. At meal times, we eat soups, salads, curries and fried dishes. We usually have a dessert too. Some Thai dishes are very spicy. We sometimes have spicy food for breakfast too. I like curry and rice with an egg on top for breakfast. My favourite Thai dish is mango and sticky rice. It's a very sweet dish. You cook the rice with coconut milk and brown sugar. Then you make a sauce with more coconut milk and sugar. You put the rice and some fresh mango on a plate. Then you put some of the sauce on top. You can eat it hot or cold. I often make mango and sticky rice with my grandma. We eat it for dessert, or for a treat on a hot day. It's delicious.
Family and Friends, Multi-ROM 3. Unit 10. The Park. Listening 92. Listen and point.
Path. Grass. Flowers. Bin. Trees. Playground. Fountain. Litter. Playground. Flowers. Bin. Grass. Litter. Fountain. Trees. Path.
Listen and repeat.
Path, grass, flowers, bin, trees, playground, fountain, litter.
Listening 93. Listen and read.
This is a beautiful park.
Yes, it is. I love it here.
Oh, look at the flowers.
Holly, you mustn't pick the flowers.
Oh, okay. Oh, look at the little trees.
You mustn't walk on the grass here, Holly. You must walk on the path.
Oh, okay.
Holly, let's play with this ball.
No, you mustn't play here.
Well, let's go to the playground. We can play there. Catch the ball, Max.
Oh, Max, you mustn't play in the fountain.
Ha ha, very funny.
Listening 94. Listen and sing. You must come to the park.
Oh, you must come to the park so we can have some fun. You must come to the park today and play games in the sun. But we must walk on the path and we mustn't climb the trees. We must put litter in the bin. Let's keep the park clean, please. Oh, we must be very good and we mustn't pick the flowers, but we can have a lot of fun and play for hours and hours.
Listening 95. Listen and point.
Rain, train, Monday, tray, case, race,
Listen and repeat.
rain, train, Monday, tray, case, race.
Listening 96. Listen and chant.
It's Monday today, and I can play. Outside there's rain, but I'm in with my trains. I open my case, and the trains have a race.
Listening 97. Listen and point.
Shout, chase, catch, meet, cross, laugh, meet, laugh, shout, cross, chase, catch,
Listen and repeat.
shout, chase, catch, meet, cross, laugh.
Listening 98. Listen and read.
One day, an old woman makes a gingerbread man. When it is ready, the old woman wants to eat him. But the gingerbread man laughs and shouts, "Run, run, run if you can! You can't catch me! I'm the gingerbread man!" The old woman is angry. She chases him. The gingerbread man meets a cat. The cat wants to eat him, but he runs away. He runs to the river. He wants to cross the river, but he can't swim. There is a fox near the river. "I can swim," says the fox. "Sit on my head." The gingerbread man sits on the fox's head. The fox starts to swim. "The water is deeper now," says the fox. "You must sit on my nose." The gingerbread man sits on the fox's nose, and the fox opens its mouth and eats him.
Listening 99. Listen and write the numbers. Number 1.
This is a big library.
Yes, it is.
Wow! Look at all the books!
Shh, Tom. You must be quiet in the library.
Number 2.
I want to find a book about space. Come on.
Tom, you're running.
Yes, I know.
Stop. You mustn't run in the library.
Number 3.
What are you doing?
I'm eating a sandwich.
No, you mustn't eat in the library.
Oh, but I'm hungry.
Number 4.
What's that?
It's my mobile phone.
Oh, no. You can't use your mobile phone here. You must turn off your mobile phone in the library.
OK, I'm turning it off.
Number 5.
Can we go home now?
No, we can't. Look, the books are on the table.
I know. I'm not reading them now.
Well, you must put the books on the shelf.
Oh, OK.
family and friends. Multi-ROM 3. Unit 11.
In the museum.
Listening 100. Listen and point.
Ferry. Bus. Helicopter. Motorbike. Plane. Taxi. Train. Tram. Tram. Plane. Taxi. Helicopter. Train. Bus. Motorbike. Ferry.
Listen and repeat.
Ferry. Bus. Helicopter. Motorbike. Plane. Taxi. Train. Tram.
Listening 101. Listen and read.
What's this? Is it a tram?
No, it isn't. It's a horse bus. There were horse buses 200 years ago.
Look at these! There were some funny trains 100 years ago.
Wow! There were skateboards 50 years ago. And they were very big.
Look at this motorbike, Leo.
Oh, wow! It's so cool.
Can you take a photo of me?
Sure.
Leo, that man is looking at your skateboard.
Wow, look! This skateboard is 50 years old.
No, sorry. That's my skateboard. It's only 2 years old.
Listening 102. Listen and sing. Our town has a history.
Our town has a history. It's very old, you know. Here's a picture of our town 200 years ago. There weren't any buses then, and there weren't any trains. There weren't any motorbikes, and there
Listening 103. Listen and point.
Ice cream. Dream. Queen. Green. Jelly. Happy.
Listen and repeat.
Ice cream. Dream. Queen. Green. Jelly. Happy.
Listening 104. Listen and chant.
In my dream, I am a queen, queen, queen. I eat green jelly with ice cream, cream, cream. I'm very happy in my dream, dream, dream.
Listening 105. Listen and point.
Along. Through. In the middle of. At the top of. Between. Inside. In the middle of. Inside. Along. Between. At the top of. Through.
Listen and repeat.
Along. Through. In the middle of. At the top of. Between. Inside.
Listening 106. Listen and read.
Petra, the hidden city. Petra in Jordan is an old hidden city in the middle of a rocky desert. To find the hidden city, visitors walk along a path between high rock walls in the mountains. At the end of the path, there is a wonderful view. A group of people called the Nabateans built Petra about 2,500 years ago. For about 500 years, Petra was a capital city, and there were a lot of people. The buildings were inside the rocks. They were like big, beautiful caves. Years later, the Nabateans left Petra. For hundreds of years, the city was empty. But in 1812, a Swiss explorer called Johann Ludwig Burckhardt was the first European visitor to the city. In 1989, Petra was in the film Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. After that, the city was famous all over the world. Today, some people call Petra the Rose Red City. As you walk through the city, you can still see the beautiful buildings. Petra is one of the 7 wonders of the world. Lots of people visit the city every year.
Listening 107. Listen and circle the correct words to complete the notes. Number 1.
What was the city of Petra like 2,000 years ago? Was it a big city?
Yes, it was. Petra was the capital city of the Nabateans. There were lots of people in Petra 2,000 years ago.
Number 2.
Was there a king and a queen at Petra?
Oh, yes. There was a royal family at Petra. It was a very important city. There was a king and there was a queen.
Wow.
Number 3.
Was there a river in Petra?
No, there wasn't. There wasn't much water in the desert, but the Nabateans were very clever. There were special ways to bring water to the city.
Oh.
Number 4.
Were there shops in Petra?
Yes, of course. There were lots of shops. The shops were along a large street. It was like the main street in our city.
Wow.
Number 5.
Was there a hotel in Petra too?
No, there wasn't. But there was a big theatre.
Really? That's amazing.
Family and Friends, Multi-ROM 3. Unit 12.
Clever.
Listening 108. Listen and point.
Old. Young. Handsome. Pretty. Short. Tall. Shy. Friendly. Shy. Old. Short. Friendly. Tall. Handsome. Young. Pretty.
Listen and repeat.
Old. Young. Handsome. Pretty. Short. Tall. Shy. Friendly.
Listening 109. Listen and read.
Look, Amy, we got some old photos.
This is Dad, when he was young.
I'm still young.
Wow, he was handsome then.
I'm still handsome.
Look, this is Grandma when she was young.
Wow, Grandma was pretty.
I think Grandma is still pretty.
Look at this photo of Grandpa.
Wow! He had black hair when he was young.
Yes, I've got white hair now.
And this photo is of Max when he was a baby.
Look, he had a book then too.
He isn't different at all.
Listening 110. Listen and sing. When my grandpa was a boy.
When my grandpa was a boy, he was a lot like me. He had a house and garden and a happy family. Grandpa was a happy boy and he had lots of friends. They had lessons every day and they had fun at weekends. When my grandpa was a boy, he had fun every day. He had lots of books to read and lots of games to play.
Listening 111. Listen and point.
Night. Light. Sky. Dry. Smile. Shine.
Listen and repeat.
Night. Light. Sky. Dry. Smile. Shine.
Listening 112. Listen and chant.
In the dry night sky there's a light so white, it makes me smile as it shines all night.
Listening 113. Listen and point.
Cheerful. Miserable. Relaxed. Worried. Mean. Generous. Mean. Worried. Relaxed. Generous. Miserable. Cheerful.
Listen and repeat.
Cheerful. Miserable. Relaxed. Worried. Mean. Generous.
Listening 114. Listen and read.
When my grandma was a girl, her eyes were bright and blue. She had lovely long black hair. Her face was pretty too. In this photo, I can see what Grandma was like then. Grandma was a lot like me when she was only 10. Grandma had her wedding day when she was 22. She was a very pretty bride. The groom was handsome too. That young groom's my grandpa now, and I am very glad. Next they had a baby boy. That baby was my dad. Now my grandma's 70. Her hair is short and grey. She's very cheerful all the time. She's happy every day. She's always nice and generous. I think that you can see. I love my grandma very much, and I know that she loves me.
Listening 115. Listen and tick. Number 1.
Is this a photo of you when you were a boy, Grandpa?
Yes, it is.
Wow, you were good looking.
Thank you. I had brown hair then. My hair is white now.
Number 2.
Here's a picture of you on your bike.
Oh, yes. I had a bike when I was a boy.
It was a great bike.
Yes, it was. My bike was blue. My sister had a bike too. My sister's bike was red.
Number 3.
Oh, look. Is this a photo of your house?
Yes, it is. This was my house when I was a boy.
It's very nice.
Yes, it was very small, but it was very nice.
Number 4.
I like your photos, Grandpa. You had lots of fun when you were a boy.
Yes, they were good days. I was very cheerful then.
You're cheerful now, too.
Yes, I am.
Listening 116. Listen, read and say. Number 1.
Look! That's Sarah. Do you know her?
No. I know that she lives in my street.
She's in my class at school.
Number 2.
What's Sarah like? She looks friendly.
I think she is friendly. She always smiles and says hello.
Listening 117. Listen and write T, true, or F, false. Number 1.
Do you know Ben?
Yes, I do. He's in my class at school.
What's he like? He looks miserable.
He isn't miserable. He's always very cheerful.
Number 2.
What about Lucy? Do you know her?
Not really. I know that she goes to our school.
She's in my class.
Really? What's she like? She always looks worried.
Oh, no. I think she's very relaxed.
Number 3.
I don't know Jenny. Do you know her?
Yes, I do. She's my friend.
I think she looks kind.
She is kind. She's always very generous too.
Number 4.
Is Tim in your class?
No, he isn't. I don't know Tim. What's he like?
He's nice, and I think he's very clever.
Lucky Tim.
Listening 118. Listen and read.
Around the world in 80 days. Phileas Fogg and his assistant, Passepartout, arrived at the station in Bombay just in time to catch the train to Calcutta. The train was quite busy. Fogg and Passepartout sat in a carriage with another man. The man's name was Sir Francis Cromarty. He was English, but he lived in India. He told Fogg many things about the customs, history and people of India as they travelled. Fogg told Sir Francis about his plan to travel around the world in 80 days.
What a strange way to travel, thought Sir Francis. How can you learn about the world when you race around it in 80 days?
After an hour, the train was outside the city, and the men saw fields, villages, farms, forests, mountains and jungles from the train window. Passepartout felt nervous. He wanted Fogg to complete his journey in 80 days, but there was still a long way to go. Passepartout worried every time the train stopped or moved slowly. But Fogg was very calm. He didn't worry at all. At 8 o'clock the next morning, the train stopped in a small village. The conductor walked along the train and called to the passengers. "No more railway! This is the end of the journey."
"Where are we?"
asked Sir Francis. "Colby," answered the conductor. "We stop here."
"But we have tickets to Calcutta,"
said Sir Francis. "The railway isn't finished," said the conductor. "It doesn't go all the way to Calcutta yet." "Our boat leaves Calcutta in 3 days," said Fogg. "We must find a way to get there." Fogg, Sir Francis and Passepartout went to look for some transport. Fogg and Sir Francis were not lucky, but Passepartout found something. "Look, Mr. Fogg," he said. "It's an elephant. We can ride to Calcutta on an elephant."
Listening 119. Listen and read.
School transport. Children around the world use lots of different forms of transport to go to school. Bus, train, and even helicopter. How do you go to school?
My name is Diego. I'm 8 years old. I live in a small village in Peru. My village is in the Amazon rainforest. There aren't many roads in the rainforest, so there aren't many cars or buses. Everyone travels by canoe. I go to school by canoe. Every day, a big canoe collects all the children from the villages along the river and takes them to school. There are usually about 40 children in the canoe when it reaches the school. Every morning, I wait near the river for the canoe with my little brother and sister. When the canoe arrives at my village, I help my brother and sister to get into the canoe. It takes about half an hour to get to school. I do my homework on the way to school, and I talk to my friends on the way home.
I'm Haruka, and I'm 9. I'm from Tokyo in Japan. Tokyo is a huge city. My school is a long way from my house, so I travel to school by train every day. Trains are very popular in Japan. Millions of people use trains to get to work and school. The trains in Japan are clean and fast, but they are usually very crowded. I leave home at 7:30 every day. I walk to the train station with my brother. We take 2 trains to Tama Station. The journey takes about 1 hour. It's a long time, but some of my friends travel for 2 hours to get to school. I like my journey to school because I can talk to my brother on the way.
family and friends. Multi-ROM 3. Unit 13.
The ancient Egyptians.
Listening 120. Listen and point.
Start. Finish. Love. Hate. Want. Use. Laugh. Live. Want. Live. Start. Love. Use. Hate. Laugh. Finish.
Listen and repeat.
Start. Finish. Love. Hate. Want. Use. Laugh. Live.
Listening 121. Listen and read.
Look, Leo. It's some ancient Egyptian writing.
It's our homework. It's a secret message from our teacher.
But we can't read it.
We can look in my book. The ancient Egyptians lived 5,000 years ago. They used pictures, not words. This is their alphabet.
The ancient Egyptians cooked lots of nice food.
Bring an ancient Egyptian dish to school.
Ancient Egyptians cooked rice. Let's make that. It's ready. Let's play. Where is our dish?
Oh, I'm sorry. I was hungry.
Grandpa, that was our homework.
Listening 122. Listen and sing. My birthday.
It was my birthday yesterday. I didn't shop or cook. I opened lots of birthday cards and started a good book. It was my birthday yesterday. My day was really great. Lots of friends came round for tea. We finished all the cake. It was my birthday yesterday. Hooray, hooray, hooray. I had a party with my friends. We sang and danced and played.
Listening 123. Listen and point.
Snow. Elbow. Coat. Soap. Nose. Stone.
Listen and repeat.
Snow. Elbow. Coat. Soap. Nose. Stone.
Listening 124. Listen and chant.
I put on my coat and go out in the snow. There is snow on my nose and on my elbow.
Listening 125. Listen and point.
Heavy. Light. Hard. Soft. Easy. Difficult. Soft. Light. Difficult. Hard. Heavy. Easy.
Listen and repeat.
Heavy. Light. Hard. Soft. Easy. Difficult.
Listening 126. Listen and read.
5,000 years ago, there was no paper. People used clay tablets to write on. They used a reed to write on the wet clay. Then they waited for the clay to dry. The tablets were very heavy. They were easy to break. People used each tablet only one time. The ancient Egyptians wanted to make paper to write on. 3,000 years ago, there were lots of papyrus plants in Egypt. The ancient Egyptians used papyrus to make a kind of paper. It was difficult to make, but it was soft and light and easy to write on. People in other countries started to use papyrus too. But papyrus was very expensive. Only rich people used it. Sometimes people used the papyrus, then washed it and used it again. Do you know, the word paper comes from the word papyrus.
Listening 127. Listen and write the numbers. Number 1.
Hello, Tom. How are you?
Not great. I had a terrible day yesterday.
Why?
Well, I had a maths lesson in the morning. The questions were very difficult and I didn't know the answers.
Oh dear.
Number 2.
I had an English lesson in the afternoon.
That's good. You like English?
Yes, but I didn't have my homework, so the teacher was angry.
Oh no.
Number 3.
I played basketball with my friends in the park after school.
That's nice.
It was nice, but then it started to rain. I was very wet and very cold.
Oh no.
Number 4.
I had lots of difficult homework yesterday too.
Oh no!
So I worked for 3 hours.
Poor Tom.
Family and Friends, Multi-ROM 3. Unit 14.
Did you have a good day?
Listening 128. Listen and point.
Paint. Paintbrush. Calculator. Lunchbox. Dictionary. PE kit. Backpack. Apron. Dictionary. Paint. Lunchbox. PE kit. Calculator. Apron. Backpack. Paintbrush.
Listen and repeat.
Paint. Paintbrush. Calculator. Lunchbox. Dictionary. PE kit. Backpack. Apron.
Listening 129. Listen and read.
Did you have a good day?
No. First we had PE, but I didn't have my PE kit. Next, we had maths, but I didn't have my calculator. Then, we had lunch, but I didn't have my lunchbox.
What did you eat?
Amy had some of my lunch. Then we had art and Amy dropped her paint.
The paint went onto my clothes.
But you have an apron for art.
My apron, my calculator, and my PE kit were in my backpack, and my backpack was at home.
Amy didn't have her backpack? I don't believe it.
Listening 130. Listen and sing. Did you have a good day?
Did you have a good day at school today? Did you paint a picture at school today? Did you play a new game at school today? Did you have lots of fun? Did you like your lessons at school today? Did you help your teacher at school today? Did you have a good day at school today? Did you have lots of fun?
Listening 131. Listen and point.
Moon. boot, blue, glue, tune, tube,
Listen and repeat.
moon, boot, blue, glue, tune, tube.
Listening 132. Listen and chant.
It's Tuesday night and I'm not at school. I've got glue and tubes and paint that's blue. I make a toy flute. I look up at the moon. It's a hot June night and I play a tune.
Listening 133. Listen and point.
Tent, sleeping bag, frying pan, matches, rope, torch, frying pan, rope, matches, tent, torch, sleeping bag.
Listen and repeat.
Tent, sleeping bag, frying pan, matches, rope, torch.
Listening 134. Listen and read.
Last month, 20 students from Year 8 were on the school camping trip. Tom Walters tells us all about it. Where did you stay?
We stayed in tents near a river. It was fun.
Did you have lessons?
No, we didn't, but we fished every day and we learned how to make a bridge over the river too. We used rope and wood.
Was it cold at night?
No, it wasn't. We had warm sleeping bags. It was very dark, but we had torches. One night, there was a noise outside. We were scared. But when we looked outside, there was only a cat.
What did you eat?
We cooked food in frying pans on a fire. Sometimes we cooked the fish from the river. One day it rained and our matches were wet, so we started a fire with 2 sticks.
Listening 135. Listen and write the numbers. Number 1.
Tell me about your camping trip. Did you stay in tents?
Yes, we did. We stayed in small tents on a campsite.
Number 2.
Did you have lessons on the camping trip?
No, we didn't. We played games. We played chess and other games too.
Oh, that's nice.
Number 3.
Did you cook on a fire?
Yes, we did. We cooked lots of nice food in a frying pan. It was great.
Number 4.
Did you do any sports?
Yes, we did. We played volleyball.
That's great. I love volleyball.
Number 5.
What did you do in the evenings?
We played music. I had my guitar.
Wow! Can you play the guitar?
Yes, I can.
Family and Friends, Multi-ROM 3. Unit 15.
Our holiday.
Listening 136. Listen and point.
Suitcase. Sun cream. Towel. Soap. Shampoo. Hairbrush. Toothbrush. Toothpaste. Shampoo. Toothbrush. Soap. Hairbrush. Toothpaste. Towel. Suitcase. Sun cream.
Listen and repeat.
Suitcase. Sun cream. Towel. Soap. Shampoo. Hairbrush. Toothbrush. Toothpaste.
Listening 137. Listen and read.
I can't wait to start our holiday.
Come on, Amy. Put your suitcase in the car.
I'm not going to take a suitcase. I've got all my things in my backpack.
Oh, Amy!
Leo, your suitcase is very big. What have you got in it?
My skateboard. I'm going to skateboard every day.
Oh, Leo!
Can you help me with my suitcase, please?
Oh, it's very heavy.
I know. Be careful.
Look at all these books.
I'm going to read them on our holiday.
Oh, Max, you haven't got any clothes in your suitcase. What are you going to wear?
Listening 138. Listen and sing. I'm going to pack my suitcase.
I'm going to pack my suitcase, I'm going to go away. I'm going to have a great time, I'm going on holiday. I'm going to take some sun cream and also some shampoo. I'm going to take my toothbrush and some toothpaste too. I'm going to take some photos, I'm going to see the sea. I'm going
Listening 139. Listen and point.
Book. Wool. Wood. Hood. Cook.
Listen and repeat.
Book. Wool. Wood. Hood. Cook.
Listening 140. Listen and chant.
It's a very cold day. I've got a coat with a hood. I've got my wool scarf and I'm feeling good. I'm sitting on some wood. I'm looking at my book. The book's very good. It tells me how to cook.
Listening 141. Listen and check. Number 1.
Cook.
Number 2.
Book.
Number 3.
Hood.
Number 4.
Wool.
Number 5.
Wood.
Listening 142. Listen and point.
Tomorrow. Later. Tonight. This afternoon. Soon. Next week. This afternoon. Later. Next week. Soon. Tonight. Tomorrow.
Listen and repeat.
Tomorrow. Later. Tonight. This afternoon. Soon. Next week.
Listening 143. Listen and read.
Hi, Dan. How are you? I'm having a fantastic time in Barcelona. The weather here is great. It's very hot and sunny. We went to the amusement park yesterday. I went on all the rides. It was brilliant. This afternoon, we're going to visit the aquarium. There are lots of amazing sea creatures there. I can't wait to see the sharks. My sister is scared of sharks. She wants to see the penguins. Later, we're going to visit Barcelona Zoo. And we're going to watch a dolphin show. I love dolphins. We're going to have dinner in a restaurant tonight. I want to try seafood. We're going to visit Montjuic Castle tomorrow. Then we're going to the beach. My sister wants to windsurf, and I want to swim in the sea. We're going to fly home next week. I'm going to have lots more cool photos to show you. See you soon. Best wishes, William.
Listening 144. Listen and circle. Number 1.
Hello, Harry. How are you?
Great, thanks. It's the school holidays now.
I know. What are you going to do this week?
I'm going to visit the zoo on Monday. I love the zoo.
Number 2.
Are you going to ride your bike?
Yes, I am. I'm going to ride my bike in the park on Tuesday.
Number 3.
What are you going to do on Wednesday?
I'm going to help my dad on Wednesday. We're going to work in the garden.
Oh, I see.
Number 4.
What are you going to do on Thursday?
I'm going to watch TV on Thursday. There's a great film on TV.
Oh, that's good.
Number 5.
And what are you going to do on Friday?
On Friday, I'm going to play football.
That's nice. Have a great time.
Thanks.
Listening 145. Listen, read and say. Number 1.
Where did you go on holiday?
I went to New York with my parents.
Wow! Lucky you! What was it like?
It was brilliant. I had a great time.
Number 2.
What was the best part?
We went sightseeing and shopping. We bought lots of souvenirs. Here.
Cool! Thanks, Anna.
Listening 146. Listen and circle. Number 1.
Where did you go on holiday, Tom? Did you go to the mountains?
No, I didn't. That's boring.
Did you go to the city?
No, we didn't. We went to the beach.
Number 2.
Who did you go with? Your parents?
No, they stayed at home this year.
Oh! Did you go with Grandma and Grandpa?
No, I didn't. I went with my aunt and uncle and my cousins from Australia. They're very nice.
Number 3.
What was it like? Was it a relaxing holiday?
No, it wasn't very relaxing. We did lots of different things.
Was it tiring?
No, it was very exciting. I had a great time.
Number 4.
What was the best part?
Oh, there were lots of good parts.
Did you buy any souvenirs?
No, I don't like shopping, but I went snorkeling and I saw lots of amazing fish. That was the best part. It was brilliant.
Wow! Lucky you!
Listening 147. Listen and read.
First term at Mallory Towers. First term at Mallory Towers is the first book in the Mallory Towers series. Enid Blyton wrote the series between 1946 and 1952. Mallory Towers is a boarding school for girls. The girls live there during the school term. There are 6 books in the Mallory Towers series. Each book is about 1 year at the school. The main character in the Mallory Towers stories is Daryl Rivers. In first term at Mallory Towers, Daryl leaves her home to travel to her new school. Daryl is very excited when the taxi arrives to take her and her mother to London. When they arrive at the station, they see lots of other girls in Mallory Towers uniforms on the platform. Daryl feels nervous when she sees all the girls, because she doesn't know any of them. A friendly girl called Alicia Johns shows Daryl what to do. They get onto a special train for Mallory Towers students. Daryl feels lonely when her mother leaves the station, but Alicia makes Daryl feel better. Daryl meets 2 other new students on the train. Their names are Sally and Gwendolyn. By the time the train arrives at Mallory Towers, Daryl has 3 new friends and she is very happy. Daryl likes Mallory Towers. The school looks like a castle. There are 4 boarding houses at the school. Their names are North Tower, South Tower, West Tower, and East Tower. Daryl's boarding house is North Tower, and her house mistress is called Miss Potts. The headmistress is called Miss Grayling. Miss Grayling tells the girls that it is very important to become good, strong women and to help others. Daryl tries hard to be good, but she sometimes makes mistakes. First term at Mallory Towers is a funny, exciting story with interesting characters. The story is full of great adventures and it has a happy ending. It made me want to read more about Daryl and her friends in the other Mallory Towers books. Natalie, aged 9.
Listening 148. Listen and read.
Sports Day.
My name's Emma, and I'm from Britain. My favourite day in the school year is Sports Day. Sports Day in Britain is lots of fun. Schools usually have Sports Day in the summer, near the end of the school year, because the weather is warm and sunny then. Children run races and try to win prizes or trophies. There is often a skipping race, a sack race. Children stand in a sack and jump along the racetrack, or a three-legged race. Children run in pairs with the left leg of one runner strapped to the right leg of the other runner. Children's parents come to watch Sports Day. Sometimes there are races for mums and dads too. Everyone has a great time.
Hi, I'm Takumi. I love Sports Day too. In Japan, we have Sports Day in the autumn or spring because the weather is cooler then. It's too hot to run races in the summer in Japan. We don't have any lessons for a week before Sports Day. We practice our races and events on the school field every day. The teachers always make sure that we drink lots of water because we get hot from all the exercise. There is a big rehearsal on the day before Sports Day to make sure that everything will go well on the actual day. We usually have Sports Day on a Sunday. The school band plays music and we all run races and take part in competitions. It's a wonderful day and we all enjoy it.
Listening 149. Listen and read.
The Prince and the Pauper. Tom Canty was a boy from a very poor family. His clothes were old and dirty, and he never had enough food. However, Tom believed that he could have a better life one day. He was clever and he knew how to read and write. He wanted to get a good job and earn enough money to have a house, clothes, and good food. One day, Tom was outside the palace gates when he saw Prince Edward. Tom stood and watched the prince for a while. The guards tried to send Tom away, but the prince stopped them. The two boys were very surprised when they saw each other. They had very different lives, but they looked just the same. They had the same eyes, the same hair, and the same faces. The only thing that was different was their clothes. Prince Edward invited Tom into the palace, and the two boys talked about their lives. Edward had lots of money, fine clothes, jewels, and plenty of food, but he had to stay in the palace and be quiet and good all the time. Tom had nothing, but he could play in the street with other boys and meet lots of interesting people. "I want to be like you," Tom said to Edward. "You are rich, and you can have everything you want." "I want to be like you," Edward said to Tom. "You are free, and you can do everything you want." "Well, You look just like me, and we are the same age, said Edward. Let's swap clothes. You can stay here, and I can live with your family for a while. Tom thought this was a wonderful idea. The two boys swapped clothes and looked at each other. We are like twins, Tom laughed. Before Edward left the palace, he hid a wax disc in a suit of armour. Then he left the palace quickly before the guards found the two boys together. Soon, Edward was with Tom's family, but it was not much fun. Tom's father was unkind. He was often angry, and he shouted at Edward all the time. Edward wanted to leave. He ran away and met a soldier called Miles Hendon. He was a kind man, and he looked after Edward. They had lots of adventures together. Edward didn't really like life outside the palace. He saw that life was very difficult for poor people. He decided to be a good king and help the people of England. Meanwhile, Tom was pretending to be the prince. It wasn't easy. He didn't know how to act or what to say to people. At first, people thought the prince was ill because he seemed so different. But Tom was a clever boy, and he learnt quickly. He had lots of good ideas, and he was good at making important decisions. Soon everyone was sure that the prince was well again. Sadly, the king died while Edward was away. Prince Edward was now the King of England. Tom was very worried. He didn't want to be king. Luckily, Edward heard the news and came back to the palace. He arrived just in time. Tom was about to become the King of England. Edward and Tom tried to tell people the truth. "I'm not Prince Edward," said Tom. "I'm Tom Canty." "I'm the real prince," said Edward. "We're sorry we lied. It was only a game." Edward looked poor and dirty, and people didn't believe that he was the real prince. But Edward took the wax disc from the suit of armour and showed it to everyone. The wax disc was the Great Seal of England. Only the true King of England has the Great Seal. So Edward became king, but he remembered his adventures and the lessons he learned when he was with Miles. He was a good king, and he helped the people of England. He made sure that life was better for poor people. Edward and Tom were very good friends, and Tom became a very important man. He was never poor or hungry again.
Listening 150. The United Kingdom. Listen, read, and find the countries on the map.
Hello, I'm Dylan. I'm from Wales. Cardiff is the capital city of Wales. The Millennium Stadium in Cardiff is very modern, but it's not as modern as the Millennium Centre. The Millennium Centre has got theatres, shops and restaurants.
Hi, my name's Cameron. I'm from Scotland. Edinburgh is the capital city of Scotland. This is the Royal Mile. It is hundreds of years old and is 1,707 metres long. The Royal Mile and Princes Street are famous streets in Edinburgh. Princes Street isn't as old as the Royal Mile, but it's almost as long as the Royal Mile.
Hi, I'm Jessica. I'm from England. London is the capital city of England and the UK. This is Buckingham Palace in London. It's very old, but it isn't as old as the Tower of London. The Tower of London is nearly 1,000 years old. Hello, my name's Tara. I'm from Northern Ireland. Belfast is the capital city of Northern Ireland. Belfast isn't as big as London, but it's the biggest city in Northern Ireland. This is Belfast Castle. It's a beautiful old building.
Listening 152. Clothes. Listen and read. Write the numbers.
Hi, my name's Robbie, and I'm 9 years old. I wear a uniform to go to school. I wear a white shirt and grey trousers with black shoes. I wear a tie too. In the winter, I wear a jumper to keep warm. I don't really like wearing my uniform, but it's easy to get dressed for school in the morning. I always know what to wear.
I'm Gemma and I'm 8. I wear a uniform to go to school, but in my free time I like wearing pretty clothes. I don't really like wearing jeans. I love wearing dresses and skirts. I always wear my favourite dress to go to parties. I usually wear a skirt and a pretty top to visit my grandparents or my friends at the weekend.
My name's Ben. I'm 10 years old. My school uniform is grey, red and white. I think school uniforms are okay because everyone wears the same. My favourite clothes are sporty clothes. I like tracksuits, t-shirts and trainers. They're really comfortable. I wear smart clothes to go to parties or to go out with my family. But I wear tracksuits at home and to play football.
Hello, I'm Lisa and I'm 9. I love wearing casual clothes in my free time. I usually wear jeans with colourful tops to relax at home or to play with my friends. I wear shorts and a t-shirt to play basketball on Saturdays. I'm in the school drama club, so I sometimes wear costumes to act in plays. I love wearing costumes. It's great fun to dress up.